want to be bitten, Smudge. Ow. So, welcome to a new episode, of the YarnderWoman podcast. As you can see, Smudge is so excited that there's a new episode out. The footage you're going to see was filmed quite a while ago. My last episode was some footage from when I went to Brisbane, and then I filmed some more during the week when I was back in Perth because I actually got the flu. So in the times I was able to knit, I did some filming and showed you. Now, as I said, it's from a while ago, but I figure, what difference does that make? You can still see the footage and all the knitting I did. Smudgy's going a bit silly. So do enjoy. And I will then later show you the progress on some of those projects because I definitely finished some of them given that they were started and worked on a few weeks ago. This is a good segue. I want to do as part of my mending, or just generally, I want to do a stuff and stitch. So get all of Smudge's toys where he's destroyed them and pulled the stuffing out, stuff them up again and stitch them back, because I mean he still loves them when they're flat like this, but he really enjoys pulling all the stuffing out, and that way we're saving resources, we're bringing the toys back to life even though they've been killed many times. So that's on the cards at some point soon. So till then, Smudgy's going silly. Till then, enjoy the footage of the previous projects I've been working on, and I'll see you again very soon. And I'm back in Perth. Very tired. I think jet lag and just general fatigue and all over the place, but I didn't have anything I had to do today. It's Saturday. So I've spent most of the day just sitting on the lounge, chatting with Damien, playing a lot with Smudge. He was very excited to see me, but a bit tired, like he just woke up from hearing the front door, which he always thinks, is an intruder, so he came barking out. Then saw it was me and started wagging his tail, and the poor little thing wet himself a little bit in his excitement. Oh, poor darling. So yes, he was very happy to see me. He did come in and sleep on our bed last night, so that was very nice. But he is out at the dog park with Damien and Sophie at the moment. I was just a bit too tired to go. So I've stayed home and I'm doing a bit of knitting. The two markers on here, between the green and the purple, is how much I got knit on the plain home last night. I was also working on my Tailor's Old of Time cowl, and I actually got through all of the red yarn, so I've just got to join that up. So I just put that to the side and probably do that tomorrow when I can go back and look at the instructions, just remind myself how to do the join. I know it's it's a Kitchener stitch join, I think, not a 3 needle bind off, but I've just got to figure out what I'm supposed to do in regards to the actual finishing to go with the pattern. But that was really good. I got all that, the rest of that red ball done, and then, as I said, all of this, and then this marker I just put in this morning, so that's just the little bit that I've done today off and on. I've just had to rip back because I'm at the stage here where I blend in the green yarn. So I do a few rows green, a few more rows red, alternate, and then green for the leg. So that's going really well. So yeah, I think I just had to rip back about 3 rows, which is fine. So that means probably most of that is going to be leftovers, and I had a little bit of leftovers on the first one, like teeny little bits. So that'll be good for something teeny little on something else. Smudge is back from the dog park. He's very tired now. Such a darling baby. So I have done, focus, there we go. I've done 3 rows of the Joker, cut that. I'm going to do another 3 rows of the Harley, then it's onto the heel. That'll be good. I'm now listening to some podcasts. I've got the Slow Home podcast, the Patreon special, and Brooke McAllery does 3-month experiments, and we're just into week 2 of an experiment all about awe, and we're looking at the awe-inspiring things to do with the human body at the moment. So that's really interesting. So I'm going to tuck in and listen to that, have some reflective thoughts, might do some journaling later. But we'll see. As I said, I'm pretty exhausted, so I might just stay sitting where I am. I've got some peppermint tea. I've had to let it cool down because I burnt the top of my mouth on some hot food yesterday. So now when I drink anything hot or eat anything hot, it's not fun. So, oh yes, look, I've got Harlequin yarn here. I'm wearing Harlequin. This is the shawl I had on earlier in the week because that was easy to grab out of my open suitcase. I still haven't packed things away. But, da-da, I've got a Harlequin cardigan on. So, I'm quite pleased by all that colour matching. Smudgy. So it's Sunday. I've woken up with a bit of a cold, so I went back to bed for a little while. Smudge slept in the bed with me quite nicely, and then about 20 minutes ago he woke up and destroyed a cushion, pulled the toilet mat out and chewed on that, and now he's going a little bit nuts. So I've struggled out of bed again. I'm sitting here and hope he stays entertained with his toys and not continue to bite me as he was before. I've got some Earl Grey tea. Oh, see if I've got my jammies on. I've got my nice socks knit for me by my friend Vicky de Vixter. So I've got some Earl Grey tea. I've got a knitting project. This is my ritual shawl designed by the gorgeous Mars Hey Brownberry. But I'm not sure if my brain is up to knitting even a simple pattern, so I might just sit here and stare for a while. I don't know where Smudge is gone now. That's his Christmas toy. Anyway, I'm going to go back to sitting and staring. If I do get my knitting out, I'll show you. What is it, Smudgy? Won't anyone play with you? Oh, Smudgy. Grandma's not feeling well. Your toy? Anyhow. Sit on the floor. How did it get there? Not my slippers, Smudgy. These are my Ghibli slippers. Yeah. See? They're the soot balls from the Studio Ghibli movies. So cute! Oh, over there is a box of Knit Picks yarn that came while I was in Brisbane. And there is my Echinacea enthusia supplement thingy. And there's the books I got in Brisbane. That's a very cool heart-shaped vase that's got nothing in it. And there you go, that's my view as I continue to try and avoid okay, I got as far as getting the knitting on my lap and out of the project bag. The fact that it's a pearl row is just making me feel really tired. So I might just sit here with it on my lap and that'll be fine. If you can hear a chewing noise, Smudge is here with some kind of edible chewing thing. So this is my ritual shawl. This is the front side. So I just love, with these bigger stitches, the join between the two colours. I just love the line. Maybe I'll just stare at this for a while because that would make me happy. So there's lots of this lovely grey colour, and I've just started the red. This is in a Bendigo Woolen Mills yarn. I think it's 50% wool, 50% bamboo, so it's got a very lovely drape. Yep, Smudge is really getting into that. Alright, back to just sitting and staring. Hi. No, I'm obviously not going to infect you over the camera, but it's just funny to wear this because I've had to wear it every time I've left the house, which has not been often the last couple of days. So the last footage you saw was on Sunday. Today is Thursday. Sunday I felt like I'd been hit by a truck, and it turns out it's because I have the flu, as in actual influenza. I got the vaccination for that last month, and that is so beneficial that I did, because otherwise I would have ended up in hospital, because I've been really sick this week, like the sickest I can remember ever being before in my life. So had I not had the vaccine, it would have been much worse, and yeah, I probably would have been in hospital. A lot of people have been getting the flu this season, all over Australia. The fact I'm on immunosuppressants for my arthritis is probably, well, it definitely does make me more susceptible. So, you know, that could be why I got it, who knows. I will just be very glad when it's over. Like, yeah, I've been so sick I haven't been out in it. You know, it's bad when that happens. You know, I pick up my knitting and then just go, you know, I couldn't even really hold the needles. There's been little bits and pieces, little times here and there where I've been able to, but not really. So my body just really needed rest. I've slept so much. But yeah, I'm getting a bit better. Still nowhere near better, well enough to go back to work. Hopefully by Monday I will, so another 4 days of recovery. Fingers crossed. Yes, but yeah, I'll show you what I have been knitting. Like, I knit more yesterday because I've been getting better each day. Well, actually no, one day I just took a massive dive and got way worse, but then I've been getting better and better each day. So I did a bit of knitting yesterday, so I will just flip the camera around and show you. So this is my ritual shawl, a pattern by Hey Brownberry. I might have told you this in the previous segment that you've only just recently seen, but that I filmed on Sunday when I was sick, so I don't remember, so sorry. But I've got a few rows done. I don't know where I was up to, somewhere in the red, I think. Well, definitely in the red, somewhere around here, I think. So, you know, I have got a few rows done. As I said yesterday, I felt the drive and I was able to actually do some knitting. Yay! So, and I did a bit this morning as well before I went back to the doctor. So it's good. We've got this nice detail here and then some more stockinette. So that's going really well. It's a very big shawl, so given how cold it's been here, funny that for winter, this is going to be lovely. So I think I've got a little bit more to go on this red, and then I start the knitted on border. I'm going to use this red. So I'm going to have 2 lovely shades as well as the nice grey. So that will be very nice indeed. I'm looking forward to that. Lots of red. One can never have too much red. Ever. In my opinion. Alright though, this talking has tired me out. I'm going to have some more tea. I've had so much Earl Grey tea this week. It's been lovely. Have some more tea and then try some slow knitting. I'll show you some of the books that are on my, not my bedside table, but my family room side table. I haven't been able to read anything this week. Just I read a couple of news articles earlier in the week and it just put me literally to sleep, because not because the news articles were boring, but because the energy it took to read just wiped me out with this flow. So I will slowly get back into some reading, but these are the ones that were waiting for me. So this is the first one. This is where I've got my my lovely bookmark. I think I showed you in the previous vloggy one. So it's a beautiful knitted heart with a tail, and that was made for me by actually my lovely friend Julia, who I met up with in Brisbane. So the Happy Bowel. I use a friendly guide to bowel health for the whole family. This is one I got at the Perth Writers Festival. So Michael Levitt is the author. He's also doctor there. He's the chief medical officer, I think, to our state health department. I'm pretty sure it's the state one, not the federal. Anyway, he's a gastroenterologist, and yeah, it's all about how to have a happy bowel. So there's a lot of, discussion of poo. But it's written very in a light manner, and it's very interesting and very amusing as well as informative. So I had that one on the go prior to having to stop reading. This one is lovely. This is Slow by Brooke McAlary. I've mentioned Brooke a lot on my podcast. She has the podcast, the Slow Home podcast. And I have listened to the audiobook of Slow many, many times. It's one I go back to all the time to just really refresh my memory, and even just as a bit of a sanctuary, really. Brooke has a wonderful voice in the audio, but she has a wonderful voice metaphorically in her writing. And I saw this at a bookshop. Well, I've seen it at several bookshops, but a couple of months ago, I just thought, yeah, I'm gonna get a paper copy as well, so that I can flick through, because you can see there's lots of photos and drawings and that sort of thing that obviously don't come with the audio, strangely enough. So that's something I'm just slowly reading through, just dipping in and out, and I just love that cover. It's like the wood. So yeah, highly recommend this, either the print or the audio, or I suppose the ebook. And Brooke's podcast, Slow Home Podcast, is on a break at the moment, but all the previous episodes would, still be there for you to enjoy. And I'm actually part of her Patreon community, and she does 3-month experiments, and this month we're doing AWE, A-W-E, which is really, really interesting. I'll talk to you more about that when I have more brain power. This is another one I have the audiobook of, and I just really wanted a paper copy. So Period Power. So it's all about hormones and the menstrual cycle. I haven't read any of this one yet, because it just, I ordered it online. It just arrived just before I went to Brisbane. But yeah, insanely good. I think women's health, or people with uteruses health, because remembering not every woman has a period, and not everyone who has a period is a woman. Hormonal health in general, we've been kept in the dark. It's just, things just weren't taught to us, probably still aren't. So this was just fascinating, really, really interesting, looking at your hormones through a cycle, what the different parts. This is, if you remember back in February, I attended a Fringe Festival performance called My Greatest Period Ever. That was by Lucy Peaches, wonderful, wonderful West Australian performer, sexual health educator, everything. Maisie Hill, this author, is English. It's similar sorts of things, but told in a different way. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to flicking into that as needed. I myself am in perimenopause. I'm on day 119 of my current cycle. So that's all fun and interesting too. I think there's a bit in, I seem to recall there was a bit about perimenopause and menopause. Oh, and actually I've just pre-ordered a book on Audible about menopause. I can't remember what it's called now. When it comes out, I'll tell you more. But yes, those are my books currently. I'm going to have to make Anita a pile because still in the plastic bag I transported them home in are the books I bought in Brisbane. So yeah, I've got to make Anita a pile and maybe put the pile elsewhere because I think having 5 in the pile might be a bit too overwhelming. We'll see. While I'm here, look at these. They're like little sock covers. So they've got, oh goodness, they've got smudge fur all over them. What do you call it? Non-slip stuff on them. And they just slip over. So I'm wearing my hand knitted socks. This is yarn that was dyed just for me in the colours of Wonder Woman. I'm very, very spoiled. And yeah, so these just slip over and protect, because we've got the tiled floors. Socks can get holes in them really easily, so these are just little protectors. I'm not sure why I got white. I don't think I thought that through. I think it's just because I like the star pattern. I got these in Brisbane at like, there's the Japanese, it's called Daiso, which is like, it's the 100 yen shop in Japan or a dollar shop. Here, in Brisbane, everything was $2.80. So I thought they were quite cool to have on in the winter. And yes, okay, book decisions. I'm gonna have to make a pile, decide which one to keep out. Maybe I won't keep any out because even just thinking about reading is tiring. But anyway, decisions. Good morning, it's Friday now. Second night in a row I haven't slept well. It's very annoying. Still feeling a bit sick, but better. And better enough to eat, but still simple foods. So what I've got here is just some cooked rice from yesterday. And these are some furikake, like sprinkles, that I got from the Japanese shop in Brisbane. So that's going to be really yummy. So wasabi is the like horseradish type spicy you get in Japanese food. And aren't these chopsticks just the cutest? They look like pencils. I got a whole lot of them when I lived in Japan way back when. They're still going strong. Yay! So brekkie time. Okay, I'm rugged up on the couch in my faux fur blanket. I think this, no, I don't think, I know this was YarnderMum's. So it's mine now, I'm looking after it for her. So it's time to do the next part of the short rows of the Fish Lips Kiss heel. So I'm back to working on this sock. I haven't been able to work on it this week. Well, A, because I wasn't knitting all the time, but B, even when I was, I just did not have the brain capacity to do a heel. So, yes, luckily I'm there because I need to have this finished by the end of next week, actually today week, because it's for a gift. So, my favourite little stitch markers for doing heels are these teeny tiny ones. These are from... oh goodness, flu brain. Little skein in the big wall. I think I've shown them on the podcast or mentioned them before. I've got several of these in these gorgeous little glass bottles, little vials, and they're all like fairy tale themed. I think these ones are Snow White, or are they? No, they're Red Riding Hood. They're all red bars with, oh sorry, red rings with red beads, and they're teeny tiny, so they're really good for sock needles. I use a 2.25. They're gorgeous, so pretty and so teeny tiny. So as I said, this is the Fish Lips Kiss heel, a pattern by Socks Therapist. I believe it's only $1, always has been. It's my favourite heel. It's pretty much the only one I use, and it's gorgeous. Gorgeous heel, gorgeous fit. These are gorgeous. It's all gorgeous. Let's get knitting. So there they are, and you can see I've got the first half of a heel. It's got the turn here. It's a little bit tricky being black yarn. That's going really well. It feels nice and stiff. I've got the 2 strands here. I'm holding the main yarn with this additional 2-ply black, like really thin lace weight. So it's got a nice heft to it, so that's going to be really stable and supportive. Hi. Hello. Hello. Oh, you tired, my darling? Are you a tired doggy? Hi, Smudge. Back home, darling. So nice to see you. So it's Saturday. I feel a bit better, but still not great. That's just general update, isn't it? But hopefully I'll be right on Monday for work. Anyway, more exciting news is I finished my Fish Lips Kiss heel, and I've got quite a nice portion done of the leg, of the foot, the lower part of your foot and leg combination. So you can see we've got all of the Harley. We did a little bit of alternating here to sort of blend it in, and now we're going into all the Joker yarns. So this is what I'm working from. So these are all No Makers yarns, and it's going very nicely. Let's do a comparison of size. So, oh yeah, halfway-ish before the toe. So that's good. That's going to be, I think, you know, barring anything unforeseen, that will be done this weekend, and therefore time to weave in all the ends, block, and have them dry in time for next Friday. Yay! So I looked up my Ravelry page, and yes, it's the Trickle Shawl, definitely by Jennifer Lassonde, as I knew it was. I knew it was one of her patterns. There it is when it was blocking. So it's a heart-shaped shawl, which is good. It means this part here goes really nice coverage, and then you get the long strands there. Not strands, ends. Foggy brain, you work it out. And yeah, on my project page, I've got, you know, sort of the work in progress photos. So this little sugar container, I know is from a particular cafe that was sort of near YarnderWoman's house. So I think I must have knit this. When is it from? I don't have a date. There we go, 2015. So yes, that must have been, I think YarnderWoman would have had the cappuccino and I would have had a latte because I was drinking milk then. So that's nice. And then here, this was at like a pop culture convention or like a day stall at a pub, but I got Harley and the Joker to hold my Harley shawl because this is with the Harley Quinn colourway, same as what I have on the sock. There we go. I love this colourway so much. No makers, so I can't get it anymore, but it is lovely. So yes, there you go. A long-winded way of telling you that that other shawl that I'm not wearing now is called the Trickle Shawl. On with the sock. I think it's time to watch some YouTube podcasts. If you can hear funny growling, that's Smudge playing ball with Damien. So it's growling, but it's all in fun. That's all Smudge's stuff over there. But what I was going to show you is I finished the sock. Yay! So this is where I started today. So as I said earlier, had about half the foot to do. I've done the toe, which is the toe from the Skedaddle sock pattern by Lena Gerald, which is a free pattern, and I've got 4 stitches left on each side, which I will Kitchener, which I don't want to focus for you. But yes, I'm going to Kitchener those closed, and then I've got a lot of ends to weave in because I've got so many colour changes, and I just don't think I can be bothered with that today, so that might be tomorrow's fun. But I'm very glad these are finished, because now I can block them tomorrow and I know they're ready in plenty of time. So, it's Saturday night, it's really raining. Smudge is getting some of his snacks out over there. So that's what all that banging and crunching is. Yep, there he goes. He's really cute. Anyway, yes, we just ordered pizza, like home delivered pizza. It wasn't so good. They gave us a free drink and garlic bread, which we didn't really want, but then we opened the pizzas. We were like, that's why they'd really burnt the pizzas. I would rather if they'd just given us the right pizzas. But anyway, never mind. It was fine. I'm grateful to have food, all that, you know. On a serious note, I am grateful, but it's a shame when you pay money and it's not quite right. But never mind, it is what it is. And now I'm about to do a new cast on. So this pattern that I'm going to cast on is the Around the Block Leg Warmers by Noriko Ho. And I was given these by the lovely KBH Taught Me, and that was part of the Solidarity Swap that was organised on Ravelry. You could sign up for either a package swap or a pattern swap, and I went for the pattern one. And it was, a focus of the swap was to highlight or to buy from designers who are not really necessarily that well known, or more specifically from BIPOC, Black, Indigenous or people of colour, just as a way to really highlight people that may not get that highlight because of inherent racism in the knitting industry and just in society. So this swap was a way of highlighting people who may have been marginalised or who are marginalised a bit. So beautiful leg warmers. I'm going to knit them for someone as a gift. And the pattern actually calls for the yarn that I have, which is unusual. I rarely actually have the yarn that it's called for, that it calls for. Focus. There we go. So Knit Picks Mighty Stitch. What is this? Oh, that's right. It's 20% wool, 80% acrylic. It's a worsted yarn, and as I said, I don't always have the yarn that a pattern calls for, but this time I did, and so I thought, well, why not? Let's go ahead with it as we have it. So in this, the one in the pattern, sorry for that reflection, there's the light on above me. It's a little bit hard to see. We've got dark green, light green, sort of a peachy colour and an orange. Whereas as you can see here, I've got eggplant, mulberry, pomegranate and serrano. And then instead of the white ribbing at the top, I've got black. So I think these colours are going to be very appropriate for the recipient. And I've been wanting to cast them on for a little while, and I'm up to sort of fiddly things on all my projects. So I've just finished those socks, and I went to knit my Aroha Knits shawl, and the next row included cables and bobbles. Cable was fine, the bobble I was like, I don't have the brain space for that. Then another pattern I had, it was up to sort of a knitted on edging, and it was all, so yes, that was the technical term. I thought instead I'd cast on something that's a little bit simpler. I mean, it's got this lovely texture here. Again, sorry for the reflection, just pretend it's the moon. And, you know, I don't know if I'll have the brain space for the texture, but I'll at least be able to do the ribbing at the top. So I'll be casting on with the black. Got my needles all set. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun to use these pretty colours. Hello from Sunday morning. So here's my progress. I've done the ribbing in the black, and I'm now trying to find the end on the eggplant yarn. I'm sure it's there somewhere. That all came out of the middle of the ball. I'm sure it's fine. Smudge is here eating his treat. Oh, he doesn't want to be on camera.
He's shy.
He's shy. Don't know if you heard that. That was Damien. Ooh. I won't show him on camera. He's shy. Anyway, back to sorting out ends and hopefully getting on with the pattern. I'm looking forward to it. It's the Yarnder teen's 19th birthday. And she requested sushi. So tuna sushi and cucumber and black sesame. And Smudgy. Hello. Oh, are you trying to have dinner, are you? Poor Smudgy. But yes, I've got my favourite pair of chopsticks, bamboo with red spots. But we have some more of those pencil ones over here. So, I think it's time to eat. Smudgy thinks it's time to play. So what we're looking at here is Smudgy, when he gets a bit tired, instead of chewing his toys, he just sits there getting drowsy with the toy in his mouth. It's so cute. His eyes are still open, but they'll eventually start closing. Sometimes he even sleeps with it still in his mouth. It's quite funny. What I'm knitting on is the second sock in the pair that I'm making with the paint box yarn. And you can see I've got some markers there. They're just to show my progress. I think I'd cast on and done one row, and I did up to there during a training course last week. I don't know what that time period was, if it was one day or over. Oh, it might have been like commute knitting, because I drove to work, so I didn't do any knitting while I was driving, but like that was during a week, so there wasn't a lot because of not being on the train or bus. But from that marker, all of the heel and up to there, that was last weekend. And the heel's nice and squishy. Oh, I did forget that I was doing a garter ridge heel, garter stitch heel. So the first line of the heel is in stockinette because I forgot, but you know, that's really not going to make any difference. So it's going well. So I've just started on there, so I've got a nice amount done for these last hour or so. The power was off before, so I was knitting by candlelight for a little bit, which was actually quite lovely, but I was very glad to have the power come back on because I could charge my devices and watch wonderful podcasts like Hey Brownberry. Hi Mars. Oh, the beast has awoken. Back to some slow chewing. You may remember from other videos, if you've watched them, that Piglet toy might look familiar. YarnderWoman has the same toy. Hers is much cleaner, and I don't think she chews hers. But yes, Smudge and his great-grandma have the same pig toy. Did you like that, Smudgy? Did you like that episode? I'm sure you did. Do you want to see another one soon? Okay, we'll get another episode out soon. Thanks to everyone if you're still here and watching. And yes, I will have another episode out very soon. And until then, happy crafting. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.